like I said, kind of want to just geek out about your cutter for a few minutes here. Going back to 2019, you were throwing the four-seam fastball. It had good velocity, had a good spin rate, but it was getting hit pretty hard. Why wasn't that pitch working the way that you wanted it to when, the spin rate numbers were good, the velo was good?
Yeah, so I've always had natural cut on my fastball, and so for years was always trying to throw the four seam at the top with the good ride that you see a lot of guys are able to do. And the more I try to do it, I just realized that I couldn't do that. The way my arm worked, the way my hand worked, I didn't get enough spin efficiency that a lot of those guys can do, which means I was just more on the side of the baseball than they were. So instead of trying to fight, the cut action and trying to throw it straight, I said, you know what, I'm just going to keep throwing this four-seam fastball as hard as I can, and if it cuts to it, great. And the more I threw it, the more I just kind of let it go, the more I was able to get comfortable with it. And that's really all it is, just a four-seam fastball, some cut to it.
Yeah, and the cutter has the four-seam grip to it. So what are the tweaks that you were making with that pitch to make sure that it was getting the action that you wanted?
So now I'm just throwing it. Before I was trying to really make sure I got behind it and try to throw a four-seam fastball, which was unnatural from what I was doing. So when I finally just told myself to quit trying to do that, quit trying to be the guy that all these pitchers are and throw these four-seam fastballs at the top of the zone, I'm just going to do what I know how I can do, and that was grab a four-seam and throw it as hard as I can, and it has the cut to it. So I get questions about it all the time, like how do I throw it like that? How do I throw it so hard? And for me, in my mind, it's just my four-seam fastball, and the way my hand presents on the baseball when it comes through my arm motion just comes just enough on the side of the ball to make it have that cutting action.
And I know you had mentioned in years past that you weren't really comfortable throwing it backdoor in that location, and then you kind of built up to that. Can you talk about how you were able to build up to being comfortable throwing the cutter in that spot?
Yeah, just as any pitch, the more you throw it, the more you get comfortable with it. For me, it was always about throwing it to the glove side when I was younger. Once I felt I got a good hold of that, then I could expand to other areas of the zone. And so now I feel comfortable throwing it really anywhere. I can put it anywhere in the zone that I want to. And that just comes from throws and hundreds of throws of throwing it and working on it and finding the right lines and sights for it. But now it's it's a pitch that I use quite often to lefties and every now and then on the front side to righties. But it's just something that takes a lot of throwing it, a lot of getting comfortable throwing it in certain spots, and then just trusting it.
Now, I know you mentioned when the trade happened that the most important relationships you were going to build were with the catchers, with Adley Rutschman, with James McCann, with the guys here at Big League Camp. I know it's only been a few days here, but what have those relationships looked like so far?
Yeah, they've been good. Obviously, threw to McCann in the live hitters the other day. Throwing to him again today in the bullpen. Threw a pin to Adley the other day. I know in the next week or so we're going to sit down and have a lot of meetings as far as just game planning, kind of how my pitches work off each other, sequencing, just those type of things. It's tough. It's easy to do in meetings to sit there and talk about what you want to do, but when you're in the game and things start going different and you see read swings and that kind of thing, that's when the real the relationship of getting on the same page is the most important. Knowing that you see something on a swing and you both know immediately right to go to. That's what kind of develops in game. So once we get into games, kind of see how things play out live, you'll start to get a feel of what they want to do, what I want to do, and kind of get on the same track.
And again, hasn't been too long for you in the organization, but what are some of your initial impressions of what the Orioles like to do with pitchers, how they're able to give you information and things like that?
Yeah, so it's very tailored, I think, to each person. They've got a good analytics department of guys knowing that, hey, this is kind of what this guy likes to do. These might be areas where they can expand on certain things. So they've been very good about being open with that info, saying, hey, take this if you want. If you don't, not gonna hurt our feelings, kind of thing. But it's been good to kind of bounce ideas off them, get some feedback off certain things, try some things out here in the first couple of weeks, see if we like it or not, and can take it into games or not. But they just do a really good job of having a plan and approach for each guy.